Hello, Mark.
Hello, Rob.
How's it? How are you?
Baruch Hashem, and you?
Good. Nice to see you all.
Hello,
Good.
Rabbi.
How's it, Janet? How are you?
Thank God, and you?
Thank you. I hope that we will enjoy the show together. Hello, Gabriel.
Thank you.
It's nice to see you with us. We're going to speak, obviously, about the Parsha. Any question before we start while people starting to load? I see that people loading. So I would love to see if anyone would like to ask questions. There's no problem. Hello, Louis. How's it?
Hi. I'm fine, thanks, Roven. How are you?
Baruch Hashem. Good. Any question?
Good.
Any question, guys? No question. Okay, so we'll just give another few minutes, maybe for people to load, to join us, and then we'll continue. We'll start the show. We'll just give everyone a few seconds.
Okay.
No one want to ask question about the Parsha, guys? Please ask. Don't be shy. No question. Okay.
I got a
Marky.
question. Yeah.
Sure.
Why did Hashem command Moses to send spies?
Oh, that's what we're gonna see. We see if no. Let's see if Hakadosh Baruch Hu command Moshe. We'll see now.
Well, it says in the Chumash. He said he told Moses.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see now. Very good
Okie
question.
dokie.
Very good question. Okay. So, Rabotai, I'm just waiting for Shimon. Shimon say he's going to join us because he's going to read. Mark, do you have an art scroll next to you?
I can
Mark,
get one.
you have an art scroll.
I've
You have an
got
art
one.
scroll. Humor.
Yeah, I'll get
Okay,
it.
so you're going to read it. That's fine.
Okay.
Fine, because I see that Mr. Shimon is not there, so you're going to be our reader. So you're going to read for us.
Shimon
Yeah,
just joined. Shimon has just joined.
Shimon just joined. Okay, because I was thinking Shimon forgot about us because I spoke to him. So, okay, so let's start. Hello, Shimi.
How's it, Rob?
How's it? Because I asked Mark to read the Chumash because I see that you delayed. But no problem. Okay, so Rabotai, while everyone getting ready, we're going to start in Parashat Shelach. Parashat Shelach, it's a very, very sad parsha. We have to understand, why is it so sad? Because in Parashat Beshalach was the decree on a Jewish people to stay 40 years in the wilderness, number one. Number two, from that was the gezerah that we always have to mourn on Tisha B'Av. So if we'll have time, we'll get to that Be'ezrat Hashem. So Parashat Beshalach, it's one of the sad parashot that the Jewish people have in the history. So Be'ezrat Hashem na'aseh v'natzliach v'Hashem alenu berachamav yarviach asher yeh le'ilui nishmat Mordechai ben Rachma אסתר קדן בת קציה והחייל עמית בן יגאל. Stephen, what's your mom's name? Stephen? Where's Stephen? Stephen? No, Stephen is not there yet. I think that it's Esther bat Moshe Levy, if I'm not mistaken. אשר יהיה לרפואת ראובן חיים בן עליה, שמואל בן מיכל, מנשה נג'י בן פרחה ושאר כל חולה ופצועי עמו ישראל, בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. We starting. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, שלח לך אנשים ויתורו את ארץ כנען אשר אני נותן לבני ישראל, איש אחד למטה אבותיו, תשלחו כל נשיא בהם. שימי בכבוד, chapter 13, verse 1 and verse 2.
Okay. Sorry, Rob. I'm here. Okay, the Lord spoke to Moshe saying, send men to scout the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelite people. Send one man from each of their ancestral tribes, each one a chieftain among them.
Okay, here we see something very interesting that we have to ask ourselves. The previous parsha was Parashat Be'alotcha. This parsha is Shlach Lecha Anashim. What it means, Shlach Lecha Anashim? That means to send a spy. And many of the Mefarshim, funny enough, I saw it in Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki, he born in the city of Troa. He born close to 900 years ago, 930 years ago, in the northern France. And also I saw it that the same thing asked Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim. Rabbi Yaakov Baal HaTurim also born in Germany. He born in Germany around 560 something years ago. And they both asked him the same question. I don't understand. Parashat Beshalach comes straight after Parashat Be'alotcha. What's the connection? Because usually there is a connection between parsha, between every parsha. That means if you read one parsha, it has to link to the previous parsha. So the Mefarshim explain like this. The Mefarshim say something extraordinary. The Mefarshim say in Parashat Beshalach, if you remember, we read that in Parashat Be'alotcha, we read that Miriam HaNeviah, Miriam, she was a prophet. She was the sister of Moshe Rabbeinu, and she been punished because she spoke Lashon Hara about her brother Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Mefarshim say, why did she been punished? What did she say? All she said, how come that Moshe Rabbeinu separated from his wife, Tzipporah? So here becomes the biggest question that Hazal come and tell us. Hazal tell us that the connection between the previous parsha and this parsha, that in a previous parsha, Miriam spoke about her brother. That was her brother. What did she say? How come that he left his wife, Tzipporah? And we know that she'd been punished, and the entire Jewish nation have to wait for her for 7 days. And the only reason is, why? That they didn't move, because the well of Miriam, that means the water that they was drinking in the wilderness, wasn't a merit of Miriam. But also she'd been punished, that she spoke Lashon Hara, after all, about Moshe Rabbeinu. Because that's not her business to ask. Why did he left? That's between him and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But that the Mefarshim asked, what's really happened? Moshe Rabbeinu got to such a higher level that in the end of Sefer Dvarim it said that towards the end of Sefer Dvarim, what does it say? Moshe Isha Elokim. That Moshe becomes so holy that he actually cleansed himself. He becomes so pure that the part from his hip to his head was so holy like God. But he was a human being, so he couldn't be God. So he couldn't be anymore, he couldn't have any more physical relationship with his wife. Why? Because he was so holy. He cleansed himself to such a higher level he reached that he couldn't be. But she didn't understand that. So Moshe couldn't be with Tzipporah, therefore he divorced her. He have to leave her. The question become, and the Mefarshim say, you know what's the connection? Those spies that was the head of the tribe, each one of them was the head of the tribe. They saw the punishment that Miriam been punished. Why? Because Miriam been punished because she spoke Lashon Hara about Moshe. Now, the spy going to Eretz Israel, and they're speaking Lashon Hara. Obviously, they're going to be punished. But the Chokhmah, the connection is to try to teach us that the spies spoke Lashon Hara about what? About tree and stone. And if they spoke about tree and stone and they've been punished, it has to teach us now how much we have to be careful from speaking Lashon Hara. That's me. Miriam that spoke Lashon Hara about her brother, that was her brother, that she saved, that she nursed, if you remember in Sefer Shmot what it tells us, that because of her, he born, because Miriam gone to her father, and she said, listen, your decree that you're doing, it's actually harder. By the way, Moshe Rabbeinu's father was Amram. So Miriam said to Amram, your decree that you're doing on the Jewish people and the entire tribe of Levy doing it, that they don't want to have any physical relationship with their wife. Pharaoh been punished that every firstborn, every male will be drowned. You punish him, maybe it's going to be a girl. So your punishment is worse. So in a merit of that, Hazal tell us, Amram gone back to Yocheved, the mother of Moshe. And that's when Moshe born. So Miriam, that because of her, Moshe born. Because of her, she saved his life. She nursed him. She looked after him. Even when she spoke Lashon Hara, she been punished. The Meraglim, the spies, should to learn not to speak Lashon Hara. And it's come to teach us that sometimes we speak Lashon Hara, even about our kids, even about our relationship. We're not allowed to do that. So from here, we learn two important halachot. Number one, you don't speak Lashon Hara about Eretz Israel. Number two, you don't speak even Lashon Hara, obviously, about no one. But definitely, you have to be careful when you speak Lashon Hara about people that they're relative to you. The second thing that it say here, Shelach lecha. And that's the question that Mark, our friend Mark, asked. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, did he ask Moshe Rabbeinu to send spy or not? So let's understand what's happening. Rashi HaKadosh, Rabbi Shlomo Yitzhaki again, say like this, לדעתך, אני לא מצווה לך. That means, HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, you want to send a spy? It's fine. It's fine by me. But I'm not commanding you. It's your decision. If you want to send a spy to the land of Eretz Israel, to look how is Eretz Israel going to look, it's up to you. I'm not commanding you. But we have to understand, what did Rashi try to tell us by that? Why did Rashi say, לדעתך? It's your own opinion, to your own decision. That means that Rashi given the free decision to who? That means Rashi saying that the free decision become to Moshe Rabbeinu, nothing to do with the command from Moshe. Yes, Shimon.
But if Hashem didn't command Moshe, then surely that's showing a lack of trust in Moshe?
No. Because in a previous parsha, what is the nation asked Moshe? They ask him, we want to see the land. Show us the land that we're going to. So Moshe didn't have an option. He needed to send representative. And we'll see now how's it roll one by one. It wasn't Moshe's decision. The nation wanted it originally. And now we'll see how's it going to work, and we'll understand what happened. So one of the commentaries explain that what it means לדעתך, to your own opinion. And that will help us to understand. In the previous parsha, it was Eldad umeidad, if you remember. Eldad umeidad suddenly say a prophecy. What was the prophecy? The prophecy was that Moshe Rabbeinu will die in the wilderness, and to enter to Eretz Israel, that will be the job of Yoshua bin Nun. Yoshua bin Nun, he will be the one to enter the Jewish people into the land of Eretz Israel. Okay, that was the prophecy. So what's happened from here? We learn from here, by that the Meraglim gone to Eretz Israel to spy, and then they spoke Lashon Hara about Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu benefit from it. What was his benefit? We have to understand. His benefit was that if they will enter straight to Eretz Israel, Moshe Rabbeinu will die. By that they spoke Lashon Hara, HaKadosh Baruch Hu punished those people from the Jewish people from the age of 20 to the age of 60 to die in a wilderness over 40 years. That means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu extend Moshe Rabbeinu's life by another 40 years. We'll speak about it if we'll have time towards the end. What was the benefit? Why Bnei Israel didn't enter straight to the land of Eretz Israel? So Hazal tell us that number one, Shelach lecha, send for you. That means that it's going to be your own benefit. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to him. Other explanation that brought by the Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, He born 486 years ago in Yerushalayim. And he said, from that יצא לדעתך, Rashi say לדעתך, to your own decision, okay, Moshe Rabbeinu knew exactly that the Meraglim gonna speak Lashon Hara about the land of Eretz Israel. And we have to understand what happened there. What was the main reason that the Meraglim spoke Lashon Hara about the land of Eretz Israel? So Moshe Rabbeinu knew that they're gonna sin, but he didn't have option. Why? Because the nation asked, we want to see the land of honey, the land, Eretz Zavat Halav Udvash, the land of milk, the land of honey. We want to see it. We want to see how it look like. We want to understand what we're going for. Moshe Rabbeinu knew it. Although that he benefited from it, and he lived another 40 years to the 120, that doesn't mean that he didn't know. He knew exactly that they're going to sin. And Moshe Rabbeinu lehatchila didn't want to send them, but he didn't have a choice. Say Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, from that Rashi said ledaatcha, now we're explaining Rashi, what it means ledaatcha. Moshe Rabbeinu, when he sent them, he knew that they're going to sin. Ledaatcha, it means that he knew that the Meraglim going to speak Lashon Hara. And the question is now, why did they speak Lashon Hara? Say the Ari HaKadosh like this. Ari HaKadosh say that the head of the tribe, the prince of every tribe, knew that when they're going to enter to the land of Eretz Israel, going to be Halukat Haaretz. What it means, Halukat Haaretz? Each tribe will get his own inherited on the land. That means going to be a land dividing, that they're going to divide the land to each tribe. And immediately here going to be something very interesting. What's going to happen here? Everyone going to be busy with his own field, with his own land. Everyone going to be busy with his own house. That's me. That everyone going to be so busy with himself. Immediately, the job of the head of the tribe going to be obsolete. They're not going to need them anymore. What's happened? The head of the tribe knew that. They said to themselves, if we're going to enter Eretz Israel, we're losing our yiches. No more yiches, no more kavod, no one going to look at us. What's happening here? So say Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi, that's the main reason that they spoke Lashon Hara. It's not that they didn't learn from the previous. They knew that they're going to be punished. But that they punished separately. That means that ledaatcha, the Meraglim knew that they're going to be punished. And then the Jewish people will stay in the wilderness for 40 years. But until then, they was thinking that they're still going to be the head of the tribe. And after that, they're going to be old enough. When they land in the Eretz Israel, they can retire. That means that the purpose of the Meraglim, of the spy to speak Lashon Hara, Rabotai, was because they wanted to keep themselves as the prince of the tribe, because now while they're in the wilderness, there is a yichus for them. But when they're going to enter Eretz Israel, no one going to have time for them because everyone busy with their own land, busy with their own houses, busy with their own field. No one will have time for them and things will change. And they knew it. And that's why they spoke Lashon Hara. That's how Ari HaKadosh explained. But that will lead us now to a different thing. Look what it says in the Pasuk. And the Pasuk says like this. V'yaturu et Eretz Canaan. What it mean, Yaturu? Yaturu, it means that when you go to Eretz Israel, Moshe Rabbeinu said to them, rather be like a tourist. V'yaturu, like a tourist. That you should go to the land of Eretz Israel like a tourist. When you go to every country as a tourist, you always look at the beauty of the country. But when the Meraglim gone, what was their job? Vayahferu et haaretz. That means that they're going to look only for the negative. So the Pasuk tell us originally what Moshe Rabbeinu told them. We said that Moshe Rabbeinu knew that they're going to speak Lashon Hara. How did he want them? He said, be a tourist. Vayaturu et Eretz Canaan, that means that go as a tourist. Look at the beauty of the country. Because every person that go to any other country doesn't look about how the economy doing. It's not interesting. He come to this country, come to tour. He come to look at the beauty of it. So said the Mefarshim from that he said, Vayaturu et Eretz Canaan, Moshe Rabbeinu actually told them, here I'm giving you a hint, be like a tourist and don't be like those that live and try to find everything that's negative in the country. Then it says in a pasuk, in the same verse, ish echad, one man, kol nasi bahem. That means, it says ish echad lemate avotav, that means one man from every tribe, you'll send to become, there's a prince to go to spy Eretz Israel. And I saw a beautiful vote of the Maharhu. The Maharhu is Rabbi Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital was the student of Ari HaKadosh, and he born also in Jerusalem. He born 478 years ago, while the Ari HaKadosh born 486. We see that the age difference between the teacher and the student was 8 years, between the Ari HaKadosh and the Maharhu. And said the Maharhu, Rabbi Chaim Vital, say like this. He said, why did the Torah have to repeat? He asked that question. Why does the Torah have to repeat ish echad lemate avotav? That means one man to his own tribe. Why does the Torah have to repeat it? We know that the Torah doesn't repeat words for nothing. We know that especially that in the Torah, there is no space for extra words. So what's happening here? Said the Maharhu, here HaKadosh Baruch Hu hinted to Moshe Rabbeinu and told him that only two people, from that it says ish echad, twice the word ish, that means only two men from all the 12 spies that you're gonna send to Eretz Israel, not gonna speak Lashon Hara. And who they're going to be? Yoshua ben Nun and Kalev ben Yefuneh. That means here HaKadosh Baruch Hu telling Moshe Rabbeinu something extraordinary. He's telling Moshe Rabbeinu that only two men, not going to speak Lashon Hara. Okay, let's continue. And then it says, Lemate avotav tishlechu kol nasi bahem. Here there is something very interesting. If you read that parsha, you'll see that Moshe Rabbeinu, from all the tribe, these 12 tribes, sent 12 people. But there's one tribe that he didn't send. He sent from all the tribes one, but from the tribe of Yosef, he sent two, because one tribe is missing. That tribe is tribe of Levy. And immediately all the Mefarshim ask, wait, we don't understand. Why is the tribe of Levy never joined the spies? Why didn't send the head of the tribe? That question been asked by the Ritva. Ritva is Rabbi Yom Tov ben Avraham. Rabbi Yom Tov ben Avraham born in Spain in the city of Sevilla. He born 770 years ago. And he asked this question, I don't understand. All the tribe sent a representative, except the tribe of Levy. Why does Levy not? So we explain that the purpose of sending the spy is to see the land that they're inheriting. Shevet Levi, elo helek v'nahala b'Yisrael. That means that the tribe of Levi not entitled to have a land, elo nahala. You're not entitled to have any nahala in Eretz Israel. In that matter, Shevet Levi wasn't not even interested. That was a command that we have to go to Eretz Israel. I'll do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu tell me. I'm not entitled to have any portion in the land of Israel. That's not interesting me. I'm not sending anyone. Said the Ritva, in that matter, if you look at the psukim that speak about Shevet Levi never send a spy. Why? For the simple reason, because they're not entitled for a portion in the land of Eretz Israel. So that's why it says, למטה אבותיו תשלחו כל נשיא בהם. Only for those that entitled to inherit Eretz Israel and to have a portion in the land of Eretz Israel, only from those, say Moshe Rabbeinu, you're obligated to send a prince to look at Eretz Israel. Let's move on to verse, now I'm skipping a bit, we're moving to verse 16, Shimon verse 16, and it says like this, אלה שמות האנשים אשר שלח משה לתור את הארץ, ויקרא משה להושע בן נון יהושע.
Those were the names of the men who Moshe sent to scout the land. But Moshe changed the name of Hoshea ben Nun to Yehoshua.
Okay. Many of the Mefarshim asked the question, how come that Moshe Rabbeinu add up the letters Yud, Dafka Yud, to Yoshua ben Nun? And second question, why not to Caleb? He knew that Caleb and Yoshua are not going to speak Lashon Hara, we explained. So how come to Yoshua, you're adding up the letters Yud? How come to Caleb not? Second question. Third question that we have to answer, why Dafka the letters Yud? Why not any other letters? And I'm going to make a pilpul later on, with your permission, I'm going to bring the Mabit. And the Mabit asks a beautiful question that actually gonna, in the end, how it's gonna fit with the resurrection of the dead with Yoshua ben Nun. You'll see I'm gonna build the malach, like I'm gonna ask question, tirutz, that means question and answer, and then I'm gonna make it a bit more spicy. I'm trying a different idea today to see if you're gonna like it, and then we'll do quite often also pilpulim with Parshat HaShavua, not just explanation. So the first question that we say that why he add up the name, he add up the letters Yud to the name of Yoshua ben Nun. That was the first question. So in Targum Yonatan was Yonatan ben Oziel. Many people call him Rabbi Yonatan ben Oziel. It's a mistake. You don't call him Rabbi. He was above. Okay? Because like you say, Moshe Rabbeinu, Aaron HaKohen, Yoshua ben Nun. You don't call him Rabbi Moshe Rabbeinu or Rabbi Aaron HaKohen. No. Yonatan ben Oziel. Why Yonatan ben Oziel? Because he was on a higher level above a rabbi. They call him by his name. It was a great honor. So Yonatan ben Oziel, if you look, there is a Targum Yonatan because he wrote a commentary on the Torah in Aramaic. And there he asked like this. He asked that, he said that when Moshe Rabbeinu saw that Yoshua ben Nun, the humbleness of Yoshua ben Nun, he explained, he decided to add up the letters Yud to him. That means that Moshe Rabbeinu add up the letters Yud. Why? Because Yoshua was humble. Well, what are you trying to tell me? I don't understand. We have to understand what Yonatan ben Oziel tried to tell us. Targum Yonatan speak by codes, the same like Rashi. Rashi explain, and we have to understand. They speak to us with codes. So we have to understand what's happening here. So the explanation was, what the Mefarshim explained, they explain like this. By that Yonatan ben Oziel said that Moshe Rabbeinu saw the humbleness of Yoshua ben Nun, and he decided to add up the letters Yud, and from Hoshea, he called him Yoshua. It's come to tell us that the letters Yud come to secure and to give more strength to who? To Yoshua ben Nun. Why? Moshe Rabbeinu was frightened because Yoshua ben Nun was so humble that he might, because his humbleness, when the Meraglim going to come, confront, and going to speak Lashon Hara, he don't going to argue with him. And we saw that he didn't say nothing. And that's another question. Why, when the Meraglim spoke Lashon Hara, Yoshua ben Nun didn't speak a word, keep shtum. Only Caleb ben Yefuneh. Why? Many of the Mefarshim ask. Be'ezrat Hashem will answer also this question. This question came while I'm talking to you. I thought about it. So they explain like this. Moshe Rabbeinu was worried that Has v'Shalom, that because the humbleness of Yoshua, that will be against them. It will play against them. That when the Meraglim going to speak Lashon Hara, he will join them. Even that he don't want to speak Lashon Hara, he's not going to say anything. He don't want to confront. He doesn't want those arguments. Therefore, you come Moshe Rabbeinu and add up the letters Yud. That letters Yud, it's to stand and to help him. And the Mefarshim ask, why dafka the letters Yud, like we ask? So if you look, the letters used is the smallest letters in the alphabet, in a Hebrew letters. And that's show for humbleness, okay? Where is it come the letters Yud? There is different opinion in the Midrashim. One, it's people say that it's come from the name of Sarai Menu. Sarai Menu, her original name was Sarai, Shin Resh Yud. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu say, Lo yikare shmech Sarai ela Sarah, he add up the letters Hey, left ink for the letters Yud. Where did they push it? They given it to Shea Binun, now we call Yoshua. That's one opinion. Other opinions say, what did we say in, what is the Torah tell us later on in the Parsha? Ve'aish Moshe anav me'od. And the man Moshe anav me'od. If you look how it's spelled in the Sefer Torah and in the Chumashim, Ayin Nun Vav. Anav, you write Ayin Nun Yud Vav. So, come Moshe Rabbeinu and say, I'm supposed to be Anav. It's not nice that people are going to call me humble. It's too much respect, too much kavod. I took the letters Yud. Where is that letters Yud gone? To Hoshea Binun, that be called Yoshua. Now, the next question that we have to answer, why Dafka to Yoshua and not to Caleb? The Mefarshim explain like this. Moshe Rabbeinu saw that Yoshua cannot stand against the Meraglim, the spies. So you have to add up a name, the name of the Almighty, to protect them. But why not to Caleb? So said the Mefarshim, if you look at the name of Caleb, Caleb milshon kulo lev. That means Caleb have a lot of courage, a lot of strength. He was not frightened from anyone. He was not even frightened to answer all those 10 Meraglim, 10 spies. That means Moshe Rabbeinu knew that Caleb doesn't need protection. Caleb have his own protection. And Rashi tells us when Caleb saw that Moshe Rabbeinu add up the letters Yud to Yoshua Binun, what is he done when he gone to Eretz Israel? The first thing, when they come from the wilderness, he gone to Hebron. Why Dafka Hebron? Because in Hebron there is Kever Avot, the patriot grave. And there he davened that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he asked the fourth father to give him the wisdom not to fall to the idea of the Meraglim. So come the Mabit. Now I'm making a kushia, a question. The Mabit is Rabbi Moshe ben Yosef Miterani. Rabbi Moshe ben Yosef Miterani. He born in a city of Saloniki in Greece. He born 515 years ago. And he wrote a book, a famous book that called Bet Elokim, the house of God. And the Mabit was on the same time, by the way, in a golden era in Tzfat. He buried in Tzfat. He buried with Ari Kado, he buried with Marana Bet Yosef in that time. Marana Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo, that wrote the Shulchan Aruch. And he write like this, by the way, I saw that also people mentioned that Rabbeinu Behaya also wrote it. Rabbeinu Behaya lived, that wrote commentary on the Torah. These two Rabbeinu Behaya. Rabbeinu Behaya that wrote commentary on the Torah and spoke about it. That's Rabbeinu Behaya that lived around 760 years ago. And they both say like this, we don't understand. We know that when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gonna send the Mashiach, the prophet, the Messiah, the first thing that he's gonna do, after he's gonna reveal himself, gonna start the resurrection of the dead. Okay? And we know, they say, both of them say, that the resurrection of the dead is going to start according to the alphabetic. What it means? A person that his name is start with Aleph, like Abraham, Aharon, and etc., they're going to be the first one that's going to be resurrected. And then the letters Bet, and on. and asks the Mabit, Rabbi Moshe ben Yosef Miterani, asked that question. I don't understand. By that Moshe Rabbeinu add up the latest Yud, he gonna delay the resurrection of the dead of Yoshua. Why? Because Yoshua was Hoshea with Hey. Now you add up the letters Yud. That means that he has to wait 5 letters before his turn. Isn't that embarrassing to such a great man? That's the question that asked the Mabit. Look how they're thinking, our sages. They go much deeper. Say the Mabit like this. It's embarrassment for such a great man like Yoshua ben Nun that enter Bnei Israel to the land of Eretz Israel. And you want to resurrect them 5 letters later? It doesn't make sense. How does it work? Say the Mabit, now we answer. The Mabit say, no. When it's come to people like Yoshua ben Nun that they're humble, they don't have a queue. They're the first one to be resurrected. What do we learn from here? Said the Mabit. The Mabit says something great, something beautiful. Said the Mabit, from here you're learning that a person that is humble, when there is the resurrection of the dead, he doesn't stand on a queue. He will be the first one to be resurrected. You understand what I'm saying? So you learn from here that on the resurrection of the dead, people that are humble going to be resurrected first, before the alphabetic, say the Mabit. That's how they ask question. So now, okay, you say that. Fine. Prove it to me. So he said, I'll prove it to you. What did David HaMelech say in Sefer Tehillim, say a Mabit? Again, the Mabit, Rabbi Moshe ben Yosef Miterani, remember that. He said like this, in Sefer Tehillim, in chapter 37, in verse 11, what did David HaMelech say? Ve'anavim yirshu aretz. That means the people that they're humble, they're going to inherit the land. He said, from that you learn that they're going to be the first one to get resurrected before anyone else. That means people that they're humble, HaKadosh Baruch Hu loved them. HaKadosh Baruch Hu look only after humble people. So from here we learn something very extraordinary about that. That humble people, HaKadosh Baruch Hu love them, and they the first one to going to be to get re-resurrect and a resurrection of the dead. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to skip to verse 20. Shimon, we're going to go to verse 20 with your permission. Okay, and verse 20, we see that Moshe Rabbeinu tell the spy to go and look at Eretz Israel and to report to him what there is and what not there is. And I'm going to read verse 20 and then we'll try to answer that. And he said like this, V'ma ha'aretz, ashmenai im raza, hayesh ba'etz im ayin, v'yithazaktem, ulkachtem mipri ha'aretz, v'hayamim yemei bikure anavim. Bechavod, Shimi.
Is the soil rich or poor? Is it wooded or not? And take pains to bring back some of the fruit of the land. Now it happened to be the season of the first ripe grapes.
Okay, here we see that Moshe Rabbeinu said to the spy, look at the land, spy the land, see what there is in the land. Is the land is good? Is the land is fertilized? Okay? But he asked very funny question. Hayesh ba'etz. There is a tree on the land? Many of the Mefarshim couldn't understand what is it. Did you see a country, a land that there is no trees? Even in the wilderness, there is a bush like a tree. How can you ask such a question? That's the question of many of the Mefarshim, especially in Eretz Israel, that the Torah tells us, Eretz Zavat Halav Udvash. That means that if Eretz Zavat Halav Udvash, Dvash is from the honey, and Zavat Halav Udvash, Hazal explained, no. It's the Dvash that come from the dates. That means it's the honey that come from the dates. So obviously it will be a tree. So how come that Moshe Rabbeinu asked the Meraglim, please check for me if that land have a tree? That's a very good question. How can it be? I'm going
On
to
the
bring
asking
two
if there's-
different ideas. Sorry, Shimon?
On the asking
wanna
if there's on the asking if there's people there, if they're people. Ki
Yeah,
Adam,
he asked.
Adam Etz HaSadeh.
That's it. Oh. That's a very good question. I'm going to get to it. So I'm going to bring two different opinions. I'm going to bring first the opinion of the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh. Al-Sheikh HaKadosh was Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh. Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh, born in the city of Andripoli in Turkey 513 years ago. Then he moved to Eretz Israel. His family was from Migorashe Sfarad, from those that have to fled from Spain. And he moved to Tzfat, and he also been buried, and he was in a time of Ari HaKadosh, the Marana Bet Yosef, Hamabit, Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, all of those great people, the giant people, the golden era of Eretz Israel in the 16th century. And Al-Sheikh HaKadosh explained it like this. He said, you know why Moshe Rabbeinu say to the Meraglim, look if there is tree? He explained like this. He said that when the Canaanite heard that Bnei Israel have all of those miracles, the 10 plagues, the splitting of the sea, the war with Amalek, the cloud of glory, immediately they realized that the final target of Bnei Israel, where is it? Eretz Canaan, the land of Canaan, where is our forefather buried. So they said to themselves, you know what? Now the Jewish people, the Bnei Israel coming to Eretz Israel, what's going to happen? They're going to conquer it. They're going to inherit the land. What the Canaanite done, listen to that, the Canaanites start to destroy and to cut every tree that was in Eretz Israel. Look how wicked they was. Say, Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, why did they done it? That they wanted to desolate Eretz Israel, that will be a desolated place. That there is nothing in Eretz Israel. So Moshe Rabbeinu said to the spy, listen, go to Eretz Israel, see if that land is still desolated because what the Canaanite done. Now, when they're gone to Eretz Israel, Baruch Hashem, everything grown up. HaKadosh Baruch Hu make miracle. So we see that that's one opinion. The second opinion, Shimon come and say, Ki Adam Mu'etz HaSadeh. What does it mean, Adam Mu'etz HaSadeh? The Mefarshim explained that Moshe Rabbeinu said to the Meraglim, check if there is a tree. What does it mean, a tree? Adam. What does it mean, Adam? Hazal explained, Moshe Rabbeinu asked them, the spy, when I say ask them, he asked the spy to look, if there is a righteous man in the land of Eretz Canaan. Who did he refer to? To Iyov. Iyov was Job. The book of Job been written by Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu said to the Meraglim, please check the land. Check if that Iyov, as it says in the book of Iyov in chapter 1, verse 1, Ish haya be'eretz Utz. What does it mean? A man was in the land of Utz. Utz is Eretz Israel, Eretz Canaan. That means Moshe Rabbeinu said to the spies, please check for me if this righteous man is still alive. Why did he say that? The Mefarshim explained that Moshe Rabbeinu told the Meraglim that if that man is still alive, we can't conquer Eretz Israel. His merit is so strong that we cannot inherit Eretz Israel until he died. So that means, by that Moshe Rabbeinu asked the Meraglim to look if there is tree in the land, is one, to look if there is righteous men. The second one is to see that the trees that was in Eretz Israel, that been chopped, that been cut, that been destroyed by the Canaanite, if it's make the Eretz Israel still desolated or not. So that's the two ideas. Let's move on to verse 32. Why am I skipping Dafka to 32? You'll see now, because I'm going to explain the mistake of the spies, because they say something that was the Lashon Hara. And that's how it starts. Vayutziu dibat haaretz אשר תרו אותה אל בני ישראל לאמור, הארץ אשר עברנו בה, לתור אותה, ארץ אוכלת יושביה היא, וכל העם אשר ראינו בתוכה, אנשי מידות. What's happened here?
Thus they spread calumnies among the Israelites about the land they had scouted, saying, the country that we traversed and scouted is one that devours its settlers. All the people that we saw in it are men of great size.
Okay. Here we see that the Meraglim, when they came to Eretz Israel, they saw something extraordinary. Number one, they saw the giant. Great size, that the giant, that's Goliath and etc., like Goliath. But they saw something else. They saw that suddenly the land in Eretz Israel, everyone take the deceased and bury them. They just bury people. People dying and they bury them. And they didn't understand what's happened. They didn't understand that, number one, HaKadosh Baruch Hu done it on purpose, that while they was spying Eretz Israel, the Canaanite will be busy burying their own deceased and not going to take notice of them. That's the miracle that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done. But what's happened exactly? And now I'm going to explain and going to link it to the previous pasuk that we read. The Mefarshim explained that was a custom, listen to that, it was a custom in the land of Canaan, the Canaanites have a custom, that if they have someone die, they have a deceased, they used to embalm him, and they never used to bury him. That means people used to die, they used to embalm him, but they never buried them. When did they used to bury them? They used to bury them when a righteous man suddenly died. On that day that they're burying the righteous man, they'll bury all of those deceased that died, that they embalm, into the grave, together with that righteous man. What happened? Hazal explained like this. Hazal explained that was something extraordinary. They have a belief that those people that died, they're obviously not 100%, I don't want to say wicked, but not 100% righteous. So what's going to happen? That when we're going to bury the righteous man, the heaven going to be open. Why? Because it's going to be open for the righteous man. So when we're going to bury the righteous man, we're going to bury who? Those people that die also with him. So that we'll get a free ride with a righteous man to heaven. From here, Hazal says something very interesting. Hazal explained, you can learn from here how wicked was the Canaanite. They knew that there is hell, and they knew that there is heaven. And those so they done all the sin, like the Torah tells us, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu command the Jewish people, don't follow the sin of the Canaanite, because if you do that, you're going to lose Eretz Israel. The same like the Canaanite lost. So what's happened here? Hazal explained that the Canaanite have this custom that on the day that the righteous man die, and who died on that day? That was Job, like we explained. And when Eov died, everyone suddenly took all the deceased that was lying in their houses or in a storeroom, wherever they kept them, that they embalmed them, and suddenly start burying them. But the spy wasn't wise enough to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done all of that the Canaanite will be busy with who? With the deceased. That they wouldn't take notice of who? Of the spies. So from here we learn, Eretz Ochelet Yoshvea, the land that eat her own nation. What does it mean? That HaKadosh Baruch Hu done a miracle that on the same day that Eov died, the entire Canaanite brought all the deceased and start burying them. But the spy wasn't wise enough to understand that HaKadosh Baruch Hu done it and merit of them. Let's move on to verse 33. And in verse 33, it's a very, very, very interesting. Look what it said there. V'sham ra'inu et hanefilim, bnei ha'anak min hanefilim, v'nihi be'enenu kehagavim, v'chen hayinu be'enehem. Shimi, verse 33.
We saw the Nephilim there. The Anakites are part of the Nephilim, and we look like grasshoppers to ourselves. And so we must have looked to them.
Okay, what's happening here? So first of all, let's explain what is Nephilim. What is the word Nephilim? Nephilim, it's the shorish of the word, the root of the word nafal, that means fell down. Shama ראינו את הנפילים, the spies say. Who's the Nephilim? The Nephilim was special angels, Rabotai. It was special angels that when they saw, when the Jewish people, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world before he brought the flood, he saw the people in the land sinning, not the Jewish people, because until then was not Judaism. Judaism came only after we received the Torah. So the angel said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you created this world for those people, and look at them, they're sinning. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to them, you know what? If you think that it's so simple, maybe you should go to earth and let's see if you sin. You say, yes, we're not going to sin. Hazal say that they didn't reach to the half, Hatzi HaDerech, a half of the way. They already, when they saw the woman, Vayiru et bnot ha'adam, it says in Sefer Bereshit, that they saw the woman that was on earth, already their mind start working. That means that they have, the Yetzer Hara came to them. And what's happened? Those people took from the land, the woman land, and they have a children. And those children become the giant that we know. That's how Rashi explained, and many of the Mefarshim. So in this verse, we see something extraordinary. We see that the spy saying that the giant look at them as a grasshopper. Rashi HaKadosh on that thing say, Rashi HaKadosh says something completely different. Rashi HaKadosh say that the Meraglim say that they was in the eyes of the giant like ants. We don't understand what's cooking on. What's cooking on here? Or is the Torah tell us grasshopper? Rashi come and tell ant. It doesn't fit together. Doesn't fit one with each other. So this question asked now by Rabbi Ovadia Bartenura. Rabbi Ovadia Bartenura, you all know him because he wrote commentary on the Mishnayot. He born 580 years ago in the north of Italy, in the city of Bordeaux. And there, he asked that question. I don't understand. The Torah tells us grasshopper. It says grasshopper. Rashi, how can you, with all your respect as a great scholar person, how come that you say ant? How does it fit together? So, say Rabbi Ovadia Bartenura, he explained it like this. And he said like this. He explained what Rashi tried to tell us. Rashi speak to us with code, as I explained. And he said like this. He said, Rabbi Ovadia Bartenura said like this. If a person see himself as a grasshopper, other people will look at him as an ant. That means when a person lower himself in his eyes, other people in other people's eyes, he will be even lower. That means it's come to tell you that a person must never underestimate himself, must never lower himself. A person have to understand, Nachon, sometimes we do make mistake. We all make mistake in this world. Because the Torah tells us, "En tzadik ba'aretz asher ya'aseh tov v'lo yachta." There's no such thing that will be righteous in this earth, and he will never sin. But it's come to teach us something important, that you must never underestimate yourself. Nachon, it can happen, you made a mistake, but you have to understand that you must never underestimate yourself. Why? Because if you underestimate yourself, other people look at you even lower. If you look at yourself as a grasshopper, other people will look at you as an ant. Yes, Sean, you wanted to ask. Sean? No? Okay. So I would like to finish with another verse we go to chapter, Shimon, we go to chapter 15 in verse 19. Chapter 15, verse 19, we're going to say something, we're going to end up with something very nice. Sorry? Hello? Sean, you asking something? I'm missing you? No. Okay. So let's read chapter 15, verse 19, and look what it says. והיה באוכלם מלחם הארץ, תרימו תרומה לאדוני. והיה באוכלכם, sorry. Chapter 15, verse 19, Shimon.
And you eat of the bread of the land, you shall set some aside as a gift to the Lord.
Okay, I saw a commentary that been written. What does it mean when you eat from the bread of the land? The bread of the land. So I saw a beautiful commentary of Rabbi Yaakov Haim. Rabbi Yaakov Haim, just to give you a bit of history, he born in Iraq, in Baghdad, 160 years ago. He was the only child of the Ben Ish Hai, Rabbi Yosef Haim. And in his commentary on the Torah, he wrote a book that's called Tzitzim Uprahim. That's mean flowers and twigs. I don't know how you call it, how you will translate tzitzim. And he said, if you look how's the pasuk start, Vehaya. What it mean, Vehaya? Hazal tell us in a Gemara in Masechet Megillah, page 10, folio 2, Hazal tell us something extraordinary. Wherever you see the word Vehaya, it's referring to happiness. But if you see the word Vayehi, it's sadness. So it say here, what it mean, Vehaya be'ochlechem milechem haaretz. When you should eat from the bread of the land, you should give a portion to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says something extraordinary. And that's a message to each one of us, Rabotai, that people that suffer from depression, people that have a problem, people that worried, people that don't know why and how and what's happened to them, and they just worried, this is the remedy. And he said like this. He said when a person eats the food, that means the sa'udah, when he says sa'udah, it's a bread. When people eat the bread that HaKadosh Baruch Hu given them, if he eat it with joys and happiness, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help him spiritually to rise above, not only that, but also to be happy. That means to have happy and joy and to raise in spirituality. And if you have spirituality, you have no problem. If you have spirituality, it's the answer to all the worries. It's the answer to all the depression. So say Rabbi Yaakov Haim, he said like this. HaKadosh Baruch Hu here send us a message. And the message is when you eat your seudah, when I refer to seudah, Rabotai, I refer to bread, when people eat bread. He said when you eat bread and you eat it with happiness, and if you eat it with happiness and joy, and then you say Birkat HaMazon with happiness, number one, it will help you to raise up and to uplift you spiritually, number one. Number two, it will help you to be happy, to have happiness, to have joys. And may please God, we should all have happiness, we should all have joys, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu will send us Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day, and then we'll be happy and we'll have joys. Stephen, just to let you know, I mentioned Esther Bat Moshe Levy, no problem. Rabotai, I would like to wish all of you a Shabbat Shalom. Number one, please God, we'll see Mashiach speedily in our days. Thanks to each one of you personally. And please God, we'll meet again on Sunday. I'm going to give a shiur about what's called Re'avad Ra'avim. Re'avad Ra'avim, it's an Aramaic word. What does it mean? The Zohar HaKadosh call it Retzon HaRetzonot, the wishes of the wishes. Re'avad Ra'avim, it's Seudah Shlishit. It's happening in Seudah Shlishit. And Be'ezrat Hashem, that's, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us together the string and the knowledge, we'll speak about Seudah Shlishit. And the special time of Seudah Shlishit on Sunday. Please, God will meet. In the meantime, keep warm, keep safe, keep healthy, have a good Shabbos. Thanks to each one of you. And please, God will meet on Sunday. If anyone want to have a question, please ask now. Now it's the time. Please unmute yourself and you can ask all the questions. Marky, I hope that I answer your question. Mark?
Thank you, Rav. Thanks for the share. We really enjoyed that.
Pleasure. Any other question, Rabotai?
Oh, sorry, Rabbi Levy. How come Moshe sent the spies, the Meraglim, Rabbi Levy? How come Moshe sent the Meraglim? Because, I mean, the level he was on, I mean, shouldn't he?
I think if you would come earlier, you see
Yeah,
that,
Sam all over, Rabbi. Always catch the talent, yeah.
that will help you to come early from now on.
Yeah, Sam.
Anyone else for question? Because I'm going to ask Stephen just now, just to give him some knowledge. Okay, so Stephen, what's happened? Moshe Rabbeinu, he didn't want to send the Meraglim. It wasn't up to him. In the previous parsha, Bnei Israel asked Moshe Rabbeinu, we want to see the land that you're promising us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu promised us a land of milk and honey. Eretz Zabat Halav Udvash. We want to see it. What did Moshe didn't have a choice. And in a show, we brought a source. Okay. Why Dafka them? Because from all the tribe was one tribe that didn't be gone. That was the tribe of Levy. You're Levy, am I right?
That's right.
Levy,
That's it, our tribe, Rabbi.
If the tribe of Levy never gone to spy the land. Why? Because they didn't have any portion in the land. So Hazal explained, from here you learn something extraordinary. You learn that Bnei Israel, when they send the prince, the head of the tribe, they send only those that can inherit the land. So it wasn't up to Moshe. You follow?
Right. Yeah.
Any other Shaila, Rabotai? Sorry, I'm just...
I mean, the level they're on, Rabbi Levy, I mean, were they worried about their jobs and that's it? I mean, they're using their jobs or the comfort zone they were in.
That's exactly what I explained. What I explained, that they was frightened to lose. They're frightened to lose. Sorry, Rabot, you need to charge my phone. You'll excuse me for 1 second. I'm going to be with you all in 1 second. I'm just plugging my phone. Okay, so the question is, are they going to lose? Yes, they was frightened to lose their position. Yes, Stevie. Any other question, Rabotai? If not, I'll wish everyone good night, good Shabbos. Keep warm, keep safe, look after yourself, and all the best.
Rav, I just got one question.
Sure, Mark, for sure. That's what I'm here for.
I'm not sure, but it appears to me that the 12 spies were not the same princes as the 12 leaders who brought the dedication to the temple, to the
Nachon,
they were different.
Nachon, you're 100% right.
So why wasn't it the same guys? They were the princes. The ones who brought the dedication.
You have to understand the princes used to be changed from time to time. They couldn't stay all the time the same princes. The tribe used to choose them. Every tribe have the right to choose their own princes. So every prince was chosen by their own tribe. Yes.
Everyone was different from 2 parshas ago.
Yeah. But you have to understand that in the Torah there is no more. There's no earlier or late in the Torah.
Understood.
You understand?
Understood.
That's that the Torah mentions.
I just thought it's strange that they got different,
yes?
all different names from one occasion to the next.
No, there was different princes. There was completely different people. There was completely different.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you, Rav.
Any other question? Philip, Louis, you want to ask question? Gabriel? Who else there? If you want to ask question, with pleasure about the parsha, I would love to try to answer if I can. Okay.
Thank
I
you.
see that there is no. Yes. Question.
No, thank you very, very much, Rov.
Okay,
Good Shabbos, Rabbi. Thank you.
Have a good Shabbos. Look after
Shabbat
yourself.
shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Rav.
Shalom,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Shalom.